Hey James, today we are going to dive into the world of phrasal verbs, which are an essential part of natural English conversations.
Sounds interesting. I've heard phrasal verbs are tricky, but I'm excited to learn.
They can be tricky, but once you understand their meanings, they make your speech sound more natural and fluent.
That's great to hear. So, where do we start?
Let's begin with one of the most common phrasal verbs, pick up. It can mean to lift something or to learn something casually.
So, I can say I picked up the book or I picked up Spanish while traveling.
Exactly. You've got it. It's a very flexible phrasal verb. Another one is turn up, which means to appear or arrive.
So I could say she turned up late to the meeting.
Yes, exactly. It's commonly used in casual conversations. Now, let's move on to set up, which means to arrange or organize something.
So, if I say I set up a meeting for tomorrow, that's correct.
Yes, that's perfect. You're really getting the hang of it. Next, let's look at call off, which means to cancel something.
Like they called off the event because of the rain.
Exactly. You're using them perfectly. Now, let's move to look after, which means to take care of someone or something.
Oh, I can say I'll look after the kids while you're away.
Yes. That's another great example. Another useful phrasal verb is run into, which means to meet someone unexpectedly.
So, if I say I ran into my old friend at the store, that's correct.
Exactly. You're doing an amazing job. Now, let's talk about break down, which means to stop working, especially for machines.
Like the car broke down on the way to the beach.
Yes, that's perfect. Another one is pick out, which means to choose something from a group.
So I could say I picked out a nice shirt from the store.
Yes, that's correct. You're really getting a good grasp of these. Another important one is give up, which means to quit.
Oh, I know, like I gave up smoking last year.
Exactly. Give up is commonly used when someone stops doing something difficult. Another one is turn out, which means to end up or result in a certain way.
So, if I say the meeting turned out to be a success, is that right?
Perfect. You're really on a roll with these phrasal verbs. Let's now look at give in, which means to surrender or yield to something.
So, if I say he gave in to the pressure and agreed to the deal, that would be correct.
Yes, that's a perfect example. Another common phrasal verb is go over, which means to review or examine something carefully.
So, I can say we need to go over the report before the meeting.
Exactly. That's perfect. Next, let's look at run out of, which means to have no more of something.
Like I ran out of milk and need to go to the store.
Yes, that's correct. Another useful one is hold on, which means to wait for a short time.
So, I could say hold on, I'll be right back.
Exactly. You're doing great. Another one is take off, which can mean when an airplane leaves the ground or when something becomes successful.
Oh, like the plane took off at 6 p.m. or her career really took off after the promotion.
Yes. Both examples are perfect. Now, let's move on to pick up on, which means to notice something that others might not.
So, I could say he picked up on the mistake right away.
Exactly. That's a great example. Another one is bring up, which means to mention or start talking about something.
Oh, like she brought up the issue during the meeting.
Yes, perfect. Another useful phrasal verb is turn down, which means to reject or decline something.
So, I could say he turned down the job offer.
Exactly. Now let's talk about check out, which means to examine or look at something.
Like you should check out that new movie.
Yes, that's a perfect example. Another phrasal verb is take over, which means to assume control or responsibility for something.
Oh, like she took over the project after John left.
Exactly. You're doing amazing. Now, the last one for today is run across, which means to find something by chance.
So, I could say I ran across an interesting article yesterday.
Yes, perfect. You've done an excellent job with phrasal verbs today.
Thanks, Sophia. I feel much more confident using phrasal verbs now.
You're welcome, James. Keep practicing, and soon it'll become second nature to you.
I will, for sure. Thanks for the lesson, Sophia.
No problem. I'm glad to help. See you in the next episode.
I can't wait for the next lesson. I feel like I'm learning so much.
That's great to hear. Keep up the good work, and soon you'll be speaking like a native.
I hope so. I know I still have a long way to go.
Of course. Remember, language learning is a journey, and with practice, you'll get there.
Thanks for the encouragement, Sophia. I'm going to keep practicing every day.
I'm glad to hear that. Consistency is key when it comes to language learning.
I'll make sure to stay consistent. Thanks for all the help today.
You're very welcome, James. I'm sure you'll continue to improve with every lesson.
I look forward to the next episode. Have a great day, Sophia.
You too, James. See you soon, and keep practicing your phrasal verbs. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave your comments below. See you in the next episode, and keep practicing your phrasal verbs.